Hi Internet! Welcome back to the stream. Happy Wednesday. It is a bit of an unusual day, but we had moved some stuff around from Monday. So I'm here anyway. But welcome in everybody. Ooh Master and Nukid! I see you up in the chat. Hope you guys are doing well. Also, I do apologize that it's not a porno tourney. Maybe at some point we'll launch a tournament exclusive OnlyFans, and then we'll host tournaments there. The plan today is, first of all, there is the Poro Cup Series tournament that has been announced. Registration is up. You guys can go build and submit and sign up. This is the same system as always. Everything, all the details are at elzon.com. There is a registration link on Battlefy, and you have to also react in the Discord to get your tourney participant role in there. The details are that it's a 100-card singleton. I wanted that one a lot, and it got the most votes in the server, so not only was I, did I get what I wanted, I have evidence and statistics to back me up on it. So that's pretty exciting. That's gonna also in the chat command, exclamation tourney. And it, as far as I know, someone mentioned that I think it might be the first Freebuild Americas tournament that's being held other than the Freebuild in-game client tournament that Riot put together. So we might also be doing that, because I think we were one of the first, if not the first, Eternal format tournament for Americas also in general. So we're hitting some of those firsts for sure. I think if somebody knows of an America's Service tournament that is happening with the free build format, do correct me if I don't want to be wrong about that one and claim something that somebody else has already done. But so far as I know, we are the first, so that's pretty hype, honestly. It will be on July 2nd at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and yours truly will be casting / hosting / the face of the event for however many hours it might run. 8 was the longest, last was about 5 or 6, so it varies depending on our number of participants and also the deck types. This might run a little long. It is a 100-card singleton. There is a shot that will be into the round limit, but who gives a shit? It's going to be some exciting, fun stuff. I'm really interested in seeing what people put together with the new cards, as well as just the whole spread of what's been released in the game. You might only have one of each card with some bans, but that means you can have a lot of things in your deck. That's the big announcement. I guess I should also mention before I fucking forget, I will also be doing a community event next Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. You're thirsty in more ways than one, but you can only quench this thirst right now. At least one shall be sated. It's better than having both unsated, I guess. Amaryllis, good morning to you as well. Welcome back to the chat. So yeah, there will also be a community event. Oh, and Tatsigi, hello, Shroom Queendom. Thank you for greeting the Queendom, and also greetings to you. There will also be a community event happening this Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. We're probably going to kick off with some horror game streaming, because that's fun for other people. Or so I've been told through my panic. So I'm going to be doing that for like probably a couple hours. Also gonna probably have some Cards Against Humanity or some other viewer games up and running that you guys can participate in, as well as doing an AMA and just kind of hanging out and chilling. There will be some small giveaways, nothing humongously expensive or anything, but just some nice stuff if you feel like participating. Yeah, I will be very dead. I will be dead repeatedly, and also screaming, and also clinging to Flufferton the whole time, probably. So yes, there's a community event this Sunday at 3 p.m. There is a tournament the Sunday after July 2nd at 10 a.m. Pacific time. All of these things. I'm not gonna suddenly do it in like fucking Japan time zone. That would be wild for everybody, because everyone would be so fucking confused. So yeah. 2 big events coming up. Hope to see you guys there. And then other streams in the middle will be Runeterra on Monday and Mage Seeker on Thursdays. And that's about it. And stuff. Can't believe it's almost the end of fucking June. Holy shit. It was like literally yesterday. I was like, oh man, it's like the 10th of June. The month's going by real fast. It's summer! Summer's the end of June. Send hell. But anyway, other than my crisis, it's time passing as it always does. There's some new stuff that was announced. you're finding some good ones to suggest for the horror stream. I'm glad. I could always continue the thing that freaked me out the last time, which was Dead Space, and also the one where which was the one I started that I really didn't like, where he walks into an office and then he gets teleported in a different body into a different universe or something, and then it's very dark and I ran at a red light screaming my ass off. Whatever that game was, I could also continue that. I don't want to, but I could. So yeah, the mods will be doing stuff. Chat knows you can always count on. This is bullying. I'm being bullied. Anyway, thank you for bullying me and being here on the stream. Even glass. Anyway, other than all of that, there's new stuff coming to Runeterra. I'm going to go through the video. We're going to listen to a little bit of the music video, animation thing, pedoncle, visual, audio visualizer, whatever you want to call this thing. We're going to listen to a little bit of that, maybe the whole thing. Honestly, probably the whole thing. It kind of slaps. I heard like 10 seconds of it when I was loading up YouTube, and I was like, that's pretty great. There's also actual cars that were officially released. There's a new keyword to go over, and there's also the Runeterra .ir full leaked list. The music is so good, you're gonna redeem if you didn't watch it. Oh, I was prepped and ready to watch this. People kept posting in the Discord server, and I was like, okay, alright, we gotta check this shit out. This was all leaked. This is a leak. I have in the past said, we're not going to look at some leaked cards. I'm not going to theory craft it all about the leaked cards. We're not going to discuss them. We're going to take the Riot announcements as they happen. I don't really care this time around. They're out there. It's honestly public information at this point. If that's not your thing, if you don't want the leaks, if you don't want to hear about this news in advance before these are officially announced, the actual full expansion happens on the 28th, which actually I should mention because I will probably be streaming that Wednesday as well to talk about the new cards and playtext, etc. They will all be coming out on the 28th, so it's also only a week away. Again, if you don't want the leaks, I will preface that I'm going to start reviewing them when I get there. We're first going to watch the Nidalee videos, and then we're going to get to the official announcements, and then we're also going to go over the keyword, but then I will go through the list. They were all over the main subreddit, just opened Reddit and was like, oh, cards. That's also kind of what I figure. Like, I do want to respect their release schedule and all that, but also at this point, it was on Reddit. It's very public. Everybody knows that there was a massive leak of everything that's coming, so, like, honestly, at this point, kind of fuck it. Sorry, Riot. We're gonna take a look at it. But for now, we're gonna take a look at the Nidalee, which seems very, honestly, pretty cool, actually. Nico's also in this set, and Poro King is in this set, so there's some fun fucking bullshit up in here. I would be really exciting if you wanted to put all of the new cards into a 100-card singleton decks with some of the old Eternal stuff that's available to you. Just saying. And then you could actually do that in a tournament in 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks from now. I'll shut up. I'll stop. You guys know what it's all about. Join my tournament, god damn it. Anyway, Nidalee is the new champion. Also, yay, hello, welcome back. Oh, Jesus, that is loud. That is loud. I don't need you to be louder than me. I'm already loud enough, Nidalee. Thank you very kindly. Let's start this again.
The jungle is my home, and I am its guardian.
Is that a good volume? Let me know if you want it louder. I'll turn up the music. We do hit ambush as a keyword right off, so actually I'll start here. Can be played hidden if you have no other hidden ambush allies. Hidden allies cost 2 2/2s. You may pay a hidden ally's ambush cost to transform it into its based card. Did I say based card? I mean also its based card, you know? You transform it into the based fucking version. But yeah, this is, I'm assuming you play it as, like for Nidalee, for instance, you play it as a 2 mana 2/2, and then you can cast it for cast 2 to ambush it out as a 4 mana 5/3 with quick attack, which is so reminiscent of Sivir, but also just like way sneakier than Sivir, honestly. You drop that on 2, and then turn 3, you're attacking with a quick attack 5/3. Ow, my face. My face. I have to say, I really like the art. I saw like that leaf effect earlier. I'm gonna be pausing a lot today, sorry. And I was like, wow, that actually looks really good. That's such a cool little effect on the unit.
Blood on the wind.
We'll look at all these cards later, so I am just gonna let the video run through the cards a little bit here. Bye, Hextech! Hextech Acorn thingy, badoops. And also that card that nobody ever plays, the Bouncer. There's another hidden ally. Our opponent in this scenario is about to pop out a Blimp Pack Poacher. And also I need to read that card. It's a capture effect. You could, wish you could have one then, hidden though. That's true. That is kind of limiting. The one hidden thing is kind of limiting. Also, Yue, it is 100 cards must have. You must run 100 per deck. You can have a lot of overlap. We set the amount of variation that you have to have between the decks at 20 cards or 20% of the deck. Runeterra is a small card pool. If you want to have similar decks in terms of the 80 cards, you can have up to 20 champions if you want. Just make sure that 20 of your cards are different per each deck. Hopefully that makes sense. It's 3x 100 card decks. Anyway, continuing on. One of our little ambush dudes, I'm sorry, this is one moment where I'm gonna be like, man, that oh no, free build rules, as many regions as you fucking want. Free build rules entirely. So free build is up to 20 champions and all the regions available. You can just mix and match whatever the fuck you want. So it's crazy time, which we wanted. It's absolute fucking crazy time. Anyway, and yeah, also again, because smart card pool, we thought all regions probably a little bit more interesting. 2 regions have like 80 on a good day. Anyway, Mystic Shotting my bush. Don't do that. No. Buffing +2/+2. Stays hidden because we're not ambushing it. We've transformed it. The Nidalee is going. That's a good animation. That's a good level up. I hadn't seen that one. 6/4 with Overwhelm. Transforms back. Makes the Javelin. I think it's called Javelin. I could have that name wrong. Beast Woman. Ah, yes, the thing that has the fucking counter spell. Kill that. More shadows in the brush. The brush. Caustic Riff and High Note getting cast. Avenging Vastaya cast for, honestly, a bullshit effect. Like, someone made the comment, I think, of like, oh yeah, it's actually not a ton of spell fucky-wucky shit in this expansion, but that one card is just nutty transform. It's a fucking nutty transform. Also, why am I looking at a 12/10? I'm gonna have to read a card that's been announced. Oh, Towering Hierophant? Whatever it is. Yeah, that looks honestly really cool. Her animation and level up looks really cool. That's the brush card art, and I actually think it's kind of cute. It looks like it's just this little round dude with just like this giant puff of spikes and leaves atop him, and that's just kind of adorable. It looks like I'm picturing a small thing, and I don't actually know which franchise it's from. Whatchamacallit? It looks like a hedgehog, but has legs and a face. It looks like that, but in brush form. Nakatak will rise. Rito said transform outside of timeline is gonna be viable, one way or another. Yeah. Oh no, I know what I'm thinking of. It's not that. I think I know. Is it called Bushwog? The magic card. What is, I don't know. Brushwag, that's the card. This one, Almighty Brushwag, is my little friend the Brushwag. See, that's the exact same card. You were hoping to see Rengar? Yeah, no, Rengar is gonna be cool. I hope. Rengar had better be fucking cool. But it would kind of fit with the whole theme of the expansion so far, right? They seem to be doing, what, about 3 champions per expansion? Which is like, it's okay. Would be nice to have a few more for sure, but hopefully Rengar soon. Brushwalk. Yeah, I was thinking of the Brushwalk. I was like, it has also branches somewhere, and it looks like it's like the hedgehog with a face. And to be fair, I for some reason was picturing it as having 2 legs instead of 4, and it was like standing upright. That's not the case, but I'm glad I remembered, because I was definitely not gonna naturally want to say, oh yeah, it's a fucking Brushwag. I don't go around going up to people going, hey, have you heard of the card Brushwag? I like him with the old border. It's amazing. It is amazing. This is the song Shine On visualizer thingy. It's the Brushwag. Hi, Brushwag. This is actually pretty good animation so far. The 1-1 trampler for 1 is such a funny stat line. True. I'm just gonna let this play out, by the way. Probably, right? Yeah, fuck it. We're already an 1/8 of the way through. This is kind of great. Is this the first time we've gotten like a genuine music piece for Runeterra? I want to say it is, but I could be forgetting something else for sure. He can beat over the 0/0 germ tokens like no one else. Small niche, but he owns it. Yeah. He's the king of his own little world. Bufferton officially approves. I don't know this artist. What else has this artist done? Not that. Interesting. We'll have to look up more later.
Two souls the same. With you I'm everything. You never asked me to change a thing. They set our world on fire, but our hearts will burn for miles. I see your beauty shine. You radiate with light.
The visuals are also just really cool this expansion. I love the color and like vividness of everything.
Stars shining with us. Your fire is contagious. I feel the moon on our skin. Love glows out, love streams in your eyes, shining through me. Light the way so that we
Oh, this is really good. This is a good song.
feel the warmth of my love.
This deserves at least a couple blasts in my car on the highway, you know? Not really any of the vocalist stuff either. Damn. Good shit though. Amazing. Judging by the last card in the league is going to be Silas for the next expansion. To be fair, they did just release the Silas video game, so I mean, it kind of makes sense that they do him relatively soon. Because I'm already in the game. I'm gonna hold this ambush keyword up. we kind of already reviewed at the top of the Nidalee video. But moving along, I'm gonna go through all of the officially released cards, and then go through the leaks here. So let's go through all of the official stuff. We've kind of seen Nidalee, but let's check out her support cards in a little bit more detail. Going through Nidalee, form on a 5/3, quick attack, ambush 2, transform into quick attack with overwhelm, and kind of has a Gnar effect. It reminds me a lot of Gnar, except Javelin seems pretty strong for free. Slow speed, deal 4 to an enemy, and if there are no enemies when I'm played, target the enemy nexus instead. So it's a free decimate, or it's a free removal, though you do require to have to punch through all of the all of the units first. Nidalee's ambush, transformed Shadow in the Brush into Nidalee. Pack Mother Nidalee's ambush, same thing, but the Pack Mother's fusion. So I actually didn't realize this. So the spells for the transforms, or the ambushes, I suppose I should say, are actually spells. I wonder if you can prank them. Can you prank somebody's ambush? Because it looks like it goes into hand, right? So because you have to cast it, and if it's not a Nidalee, it will not count as a champion card. I would love to do that, because you could also then use Petricite Pillar and Stony Suppressor and things to increase the cost of somebody's transform, which would be a little bit of a tempo difference. And there's that new Trinisphere thingy that makes all spells cost 3, if they would be less than that. So that seems like you could fuck with something for sure. So that's all the Nidalee stuff. She looks pretty good. And by pretty good, I think she'll be at least very fun. She gives me a little bit of the Samira vibe of you're just kind of casting spells and having a fun amount of like plays that you can do to get your champion to do stuff. Because Samira, other than Fizz, I actually thought she was a lot of fun. I never really got into her too much, but I think she was really entertaining. And I get the same thing with like what's the Nexus? What's the focus speed? Bullet. The bullet card, whatever that's called. The bullet card was fun, and then you also have the Rose card. Why can't I remember the fucking names of the fucking goddamn Samira cards? All Out, I know, is one of them, but what's the other one? They're All Out is also part of it, but it's the Flare. It's the Flare and then the other focus speed spell that I still cannot actually remember the name of. Gave her a lot of just like, maybe not necessarily interactivity for your opponent, but a lot of things to do for you. And I feel like Nidalee is going to feel somewhat the same of like, you cast a thing while she's attacking, she does a thing, and then you also hypothetically get a thing out of it, because you get the Nidalee, and she's also doing a lot of damage, and then she also makes more of the ambushes, etc. I think that's fun. Hopefully it will actually be fun, and not infuriating to play against. But Ambush is a cool card. I feel like Samira Nidalee is gonna meta in the end of the day. It's just gonna meta. Yeah, probably. Has Samira really dropped in standards significantly? I want to say no, and that the last time I checked, Samira Fizz was also just doing really well still, because it's fucking Samira Fizz, and what you gonna do when they hit you with the Fizz uncounterably? And also Rally. But Nidalee, I'm trying to think what would probably counter the quick attack. Not much besides removing it or silencing it, but it's not quite that, yeah. I was hoping Ambush was going to be like Flash. Yeah, here's the thing. I think that would be super cool, but they took away things like Portal Palooza, and other cards like Eye of Nakaguboros that basically were... They've taken away so many of the burst speed unit summons that I feel like Flash might fall in the same category for them, of they just really do not fucking like it when a unit shows up out of nowhere. Which, like, I kind of understand, because it does, in a game like Runeterra, feel kind of bullshit if your opponent can suddenly have like 5 blockers that they didn't 2 seconds ago. It would be neat though if Flash was a thing, or if the Unearth mechanic was a thing. I don't think that this game is equipped to handle graveyard or exile effects. But it would be really cool if they fucking contradicted me on that in like a year or so, and they actually gave us a graveyard that we could interact with beyond things that just say revive. Like if I could just pick a card from my graveyard. There is other stuff like Spell Thief that sort of kind of maybe halfway does what I'm talking about, but not really. It's not really a graveyard. It's not really an exile. Gagarin will rise one day in Runeterra. If they had like the opposite of deep, or like deep but not, if they had deep but not in the card game, you know, if it just had the thing that they already made but also nothing like that at all, yeah, that would be cool. I'm wondering if they could give that to like Kha'Zix or something. Like imagine if Kha'Zix was a graveyard effect champion or something, or if Fiddlesticks was like a graveyard effect champion, or if, I mean, obviously Thresh would fit, but Thresh already does a thing. Somebody like that. LRR is turning into Yu-Gi-Oh, so maybe Graveyard soon. Maybe Graveyard soon. It would be definitely a very different landscape if it had it, because Magic has a graveyard. Yu-Gi-Oh has a graveyard and a banish / exile. Magic has the exile. Hearthstone doesn't have anything, if I'm remembering correctly. It just kind of also just goes into the, well, if you lost the card, you lost the card, get fucked, bro, kind of mechanic. But yeah, it'd be cool. We already have graveyard like Harrowing. That's true, but it's like it's a condition. I mean more like being able to like pick from your graveyard a little bit more consistently, or have things that say if I'm like in a certain place in your graveyard or cost a certain amount from your graveyard, like those more direct abilities that will let you find and pull stuff. Because Harrowing is definitely a graveyard card. Yeah, and Miscall, Rekindler, those are all, but they're all just like kind of, they're not as indirect as I think I'm making them sound to be, because those are also, they can be very specific. Like if you know what the Miscall is reviving, obviously you get that unit. If you know what has died, a Nivea Rekindler is obviously a thing. But just like, I'm just thinking of things like, oh, you can cast this from your graveyard for 2 mana, you know? Like, you're actually looking at that card in your graveyard and saying, this has a graveyard effect, not, I'm casting another card that does a thing because something else died. If that makes sense. It's a little bit of a finicky distinction. Saying that Runeterra doesn't have any graveyard effects whatsoever is not entirely true. I would just like it to be a little bit more focused, or actually saying that I'd like it to be more focused is kind of also not exactly right, because I don't actually know how it would fuck with the balance of the game if they did something like that. It's possible that targeted graveyard effects would be fucking broken, and if they introduced the wrong card, it probably would be fucking broken, and we would see nothing except graveyard recursion. But being able to play something that died without having to run Shadow Isles, or having to run Shadow Isles but it's more than just a miscall, could be very interesting. I think that's as far as I'll go. I actually don't know if I'd like it, because I've gotten very used to this game without the effects. Would be powerful, though. Would be powerful. And they have so many champions that could, like, use the graveyard just thematically. Diego now no longer summons Camivore and Mists. He summons Isolde, who punches him in the face every time. Moving on though, sorry, that was a very long diversion from talking about stuff. Nidalee's Prowl, burst speed +2, give an ally +2/+0. If it is a shadow in the brush, give it +2/+2 instead. Create a Nidalee in the deck. Oh, so that's her champ spell. Sorry, that's her champ spell, the Prowl. That's why we saw the Bushwag go from a 2/2 to a 4/4. Aurora Holonatus is a bird. Fantastic. 4/2. Shurima. Are all of these Shurima? Yeah. Oh, no. There's one that's P and Z, but most of these, almost all of these are from Shurima. Which is actually an interesting aesthetic. So far I would not have associated any of these colors with Shurima. But I guess to be fair, it may not have always been a desert. I don't know the Nidalee lore well enough to say that. 3 mana 4/2, ambush 4. When I transform, summon an Aurora Holonatus. Oh, so it gets the thing. It makes another one for 4 mana. So you summon a 3 cost, and then you pay 7, and then you pay 4, so 3 plus 4, 7. So you eventually end up playing 7 mana for a unit that recurs itself by summoning more copies. That's actually kind of cool. I don't know if the bird synergies are going to work, but by God, do I want to run that bird up deck one more time and try it out, because that seems entertaining. Okay, these are slightly out of order, but we'll keep going and pair the ambushes with their followers. Bushwhack Trap, 2 mana landmark. When I'm summoned or the first time an ally transforms each round, give the weakest enemy vulnerable. I mean, that seems pretty decent. Bilgewater has some fun, like that list card that could be fun with a card like Bushwhack Trap, because you could potentially get a free attack with an ambush card as well. You could be wrong, but those recursion cards never do well. I don't know if it's gonna do great, because like here's like for example, Risu the Silent Storm technically does something similar because it makes an extra unit when you summon the original. Risu the Silent Storm, Navori Highwayman, probably Aurora Holonatus, other things like that. They're good in very specific scenarios. You are trying to do fun recursion things, and they are beating your face in with Samira. Yeah, pretty much. No, the only cases where I can think of Navoro Highwayman being useful is when it was Bard Zed, and it was just an extra body, and that was just a fucking beatdown stats game. And then there's also Reese of the Silent Storm, which was Timelines, and Timelines, and we don't need to talk about it anymore, do we? So yeah, those are not great examples of this is definitely gonna be a good card. It's probably not, but I do want to run Bird up some more. Look, guys, I revived Bird. Ow! Yeah, pretty much. Wow, my amazing, beautiful acid trip butterfly is now bleeding on the floor, and my head has been chopped off, but I summoned it twice, guys. I summoned it 2 whole times. I can count to 2! Actually, it could be more than 2, assuming you want to spend 11 mana for 3 of them. Why is its ambush more expensive than its summon? That makes it so bad. I mean, I get the reasoning behind making the ambush more expensive because it technically summons another fucking dude. But also it doesn't make it bigger. It's just summons another one of it. It doesn't become anything in particular. So that's actually that's actually kind of fucking funny. Anyway, Towering Pyrophant, which is a 6 mana 6/5 with Overwhelm Ambush 5. So this is a 2/2 that transforms into an Overwhelm. This is a 6 mana 6/5. The transform is 5. So you're paying total, assuming you sneak out the brush earlier, 7 mana for a 6/5 with Overwhelm. There was something that was crazy that was going nuts and buffing it. So once we hit that, I think that will explain why I was looking at like a 10-12 or whatever it was in the video. We saw the Prowl. This is the Holonatus ambush. Avenging Vastaya is the thing that I cannot believe that they're printing, which is a 3 mana 3/3 with Spell Shield. Already pretty banger. With Ambush 3, that says, when I transform from Avenging Vastaya's ambush, stop all enemy fast spells, slow spells, and skills. So it just says, fuck you. And goodbye all of the things that you might have just put on that stack right there. That should also, I believe, work with I mean, it will just work, and I don't think it will also just work on attack. If you're looking at something that has a skill, goodbye to the skill. There are a lot of decks that actually do kind of sort of rely on having a bunch of things in front of it that are not countered. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, counterspell on a stick for sure, as I saw someone in the Discord call it, and that's certainly what it feels like. I do actually want to see something. So I saw, bringing back that video actually, just till I see the leaks. Honestly, probably that's probably fair. Like how these cards are adding some new flavor to Shurima. It's definitely changing the Shurima stuff. I want to go back to see when it's used, because I saw something on Twitter about like, well, maybe it's like, maybe it does have a skill, because some things that say that they counter do have skills. Oh, that is a skill that goes on the stack. So it is, the animation goes very fast, so I'm not actually sure if that's counterable, but it does put something on the stack. It's not end all be all, I think. Do skills always have the silver border, or is that just because it's a follower skill and not a fast speed spell? I don't actually know the visual distinction between those two, and I probably should. But it goes on the stack of some kind. Maybe it's counterable. Maybe? I'm still unclear on that, actually. Can you counter the Vestaya? I'll figure it out when the card's announced. Regardless, seems pretty strong. There's that shadow. There's the bushwag. Hi, bushwag. Moving along here, we've got Blimp Pack Poacher, Ambush 3. When I transform, the next time I block or am blocked this round, capture my enemy if its power is 6 or less. A 2-mana 2/2 comes out as an ambush. That seems pretty strong. In the video, it definitely looked quite useful to capture. I'm assuming this is also, actually, this will also show it. If that is also a burst, if that's a skill that goes, is it going? No, that also goes in the stack. So that's also a stack effect, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so all of these are stack effects, presumably, unless it's the transform going on the stack, but I don't think that's the case, because I think the transform is just a burst speed interaction, period. The effects with the units that have effects, the unit effects look like they do go on the stack. Anyway, I'll stop saying stack for a hot minute here. All-Terrain Trooper, 2-mana 3/1, Ambush 0. When I'm summoned or transformed, grant the weakest enemy vulnerable. So you can also kind of just cast that for the same effect. Unless you want to juke somebody and be like, look at this 2/2, maybe it's in Italy. Or maybe it's just this old man with extra limbs. 7-mana 5/6, Big Game Tycoon, also showed up in the trailer. Manifest a card with Ambush. When an ally transforms, double its power and health. That's how they were getting the big-ass Pyrophant. There we go. Grappler loves that card's art. The Terrain Trooper or the Big Game Tycoon? Both are pretty cool. It's interesting to see that, like, steampunk, like, Victorian era aesthetic right next to Nidalee, and also the like fucking Azir. There's Nidalee, Tycoon, Azir, and obviously all of the other Shurima stuff are all from the same place, which kind of is interesting. I swear I said syllables. Tycoon is pretty cool art. I like his mustache. It's a good mustache. Anira and Froop. I'm assuming that the frog's name is Froop, and that is actually a 1000% fantastic decision. 3-mana 2/2 allies that have a different subtype than other allies in play cost 1 less. I would love to see a Warden of the Tribes deck with Froop. That would be dope. Bristlehog is a 1/2. Does it have tiny little Bristlehog babies on its back? Oh my god. Once an ally has transformed this game, grant me +1/+1. 1-mana 2/3 sounds great. This is a solid stat line. Ixtal died so Shurima could live. God, it kind of did, didn't it? Like, there was Ixtali Sentinel, and there was some other people, and then I can't even name the other cards because they're just not as good as cards. The people are cool, but the aesthetic just wasn't as strong, unfortunately. Face check. Manifest a card with Ambush. Oh, that seems good, actually. That seems like a honestly, for an ambush deck, kind of seems like a better, more focused what's the thing that manifests followers if you can afford it? Bilgewater card, whatever that card. It seems like a better version of that card. Man, I fucking play Runeterra like 1 day less a week now, and I'm already forgetting all the names of things. 3 mana 2/2 Paka Club, Ambush Club. Paka up, she's up in the Paka Club. Paka Cub with Fearsome. Nexus Strike, create a Paka, summon a Paka Protector, which is a 3/1. So that also summons some stuff. Again, as with the Burb, does it making an extra unit if it hits Nexus when it's not elusive the most helpful? Don't know. But Fearsome, I feel like Ambush is kind of an aggro-y mid-range archetype, because like you might be able to get the value out of a Fearsome, because you can cast it on 2 and then ambush it immediately if you've banked your mana. So that is a 2/2 with Fearsome coming in. So that's actually might be pretty good. Very least you might get a 3/1 for free. And you say that, did I see the Nefiri trailer? Oh, that's a new League champion, right? I have not watched the Nefiri trailer, because I was going to do the Runeterra stuff first. But I did see that it was announced, and the art in, like, the thumbnail for the YouTube video looks so good also! So actually, let me bring that up real quick, because I do actually want to see it in its full glory. Yob. Nefiri? 2I? No, it's 2 A's. Nefiri. Okay, this one. Yeah, this is the one. The thumbnail looked dope. So, I have that queued up now. We gotta watch it at some point. It's a really cool video. League hasn't given us cool things in forever. What, you mean the last set of announcements wasn't enough? That they just announced that basically the game's gonna continue existing, and then they also fucked with the LCS? Anyway, so that's all of the official announcements. Here are cards that are coming according to the Riot game people, and now we're gonna look at the thing that got posted on Reddit. There's a lot in here, so brace yourselves. I took like an hour to get through everything else, so we're probably gonna be here for at least another 30 minutes as I babble for a hot minute. But it's an exciting babble, so I'm okay with that. 3 mana P&Z Chemtech Catermobile. Quick attack. I have +1/+0 for each 1-cost ally you've summoned this game. I know for a fact that somebody is going to be building 100-card 1-drops for the Singleton tournament, so where's Ace at? Because that's going to be an entertaining card for that deck. 1-cost ally. Yeah, that just seems, it seems like a genuinely helpful piece. A 3 mana for, let's say, okay, 3 mana, you're at turn 3 if you cast it on curve. That's probably, what, 3 1-drops? So it's a 3/4 with quick attack. Potentially with an extra 1 or 2 more if you cast it later on a later attack turn. So it's minimum about matching its HP with quick attack. The stat line of 4 is actually, I would say, pretty chunky. Nidalee aside, there's not a ton of things that deal 4 damage to a follower that super easily. Maybe with Jury Rig? Oh my god, Jury Rig! Jury Rig deserves love! It really does. It's such a funny car. It could do so many cool things. It's just unfortunately stuck in its place. But, oh, not Jury Rig. I'm thinking Rector Rig. I'm thinking Electro Rig! You reminded me of a card that I want to have see played more. But yeah, Jury Rig is better. Jury Rig is much better, actually. Because, yeah, you can bank spell mana, so you have probably more than 4 1/1s at that point. Sorry, I got very confused. Ignore my confusion. I'm thinking of Electro Rig. Jury Rig is the discard. Or 1/1. Good shit. Good point. We already looked at Froop. I have already been cooing over Sump Monument in the Discord a little bit. Sump Monument, if your Nexus would take non-poison or puff cap damage, your opponent plants 4 poison puff caps in your deck for each damage instead. I love this card so much. I love this card so much because it takes away the typical win condition for your opponent, or at least delays the typical win condition for your opponent. Can't tell if that is really good or really bad. Here's my thoughts on the Sump Monument. If you don't remove it and your opponent has it, and they are running the right deck, they can heal and either kill you with their own units, kill you with their own spells, or deck you out. Those are all very unlikely, but what it does, and I think it does hopefully pretty solidly, is it just prevents you from dying for a little bit longer. So say you're taking 10 damage from a deck, say it's aggro-y, mid-rangey kind of stuff. So you're taking 10 damage by like turn 4, turn 3, turn 4. Let's say turn 4. Let's talk a little bit later on. And your damage is spread into, at that point, let's say 30 remaining cards. You have a 1 in 3 chance every time you draw a card of taking only 1 damage. It's not half your HP, it's only 1 damage. I could be completely wrong about this, because, yeah, I mean, to be fair, I love planting shrooms. I love the idea of using shrooms myself as a way to get me in a better position in the game. Masochism, yay! I really like this a lot. I don't know if it's going to be that good, actually. I desperately, desperately, desperately want this card to be really good, so that they make more things like that, where it's just a little bit weird. Because that card is a little bit weird. They actually print a lot of weird stuff, I feel like, within Landmarks. Black Flame is kind of a weird card. University of Piltover is a weird card. Howling Abyss! What the fuck is that card? I feel like this, hopefully, will end up in the pile of those things. Obviously, there's a giant difference between University of Piltover and Howling Abyss. But I really hope this turns into a Howling Abyss kind of thing. Of, like, if you have it, it's memey, but it can win you the game by stalling, by distributing the damage that you're taking, by basically acting as you are very unlikely to ever take lethal damage in 1 hit, which I just think is super fucking cool. Anyway, it reminds me of all of those, like, equipment? No, whatever they're called in TFT, that I know also have analogies in League of Legends, of anytime you take damage, it's dealt as damage over time, and it slows down the possibility that you're ever going to get one shot. Because a lot of decks rely on not one-shotting you exactly, but dealing a significant percentage of your HP all at once. I love the idea of setting that over all of the cards in your deck. Plus, if you have duplication, if you have healing, if you can add more cards back into your deck, all that kind of stuff, then suddenly you're also just countering their ability to kill you entirely. Not entirely, but mostly. You're countering their ability to kill you in the amount of time that it might enable you to win with burn or units, or just by fucking outvaluing them to the moon. I really want this card to be good, guys. In case you can't tell, I really want it to be so good. I really want it to be so good. I did also preemptively ban it from the tournament. Because I was like, I don't think we really need to see damage distributed over 100 cards. 40 cards? Different story. 100 cards? We're already doing 100 card singleton. Maybe let's not make the games even longer, potentially. Anyway, Sun Monument, my favorite of this expansion. I haven't even seen the rest, but that seems really good. Yeah, I should also specify, I haven't looked at any of this shit other than the Italy stuff. At all. I saw it, and then I put it down and saved it for the stream. 1 mana epic Scrap Traption. Okay, slow. To play, spend all your mana, summon a runaway Scrap Trap, and grow its stats to that amount. Scrap Trap is a 1/1/1 mana with Brash. So it can't be blocked by things with a small HP pool. I don't love Brash as a keyword. I don't know how useful that's gonna be exactly, because it eats all your mana for something that may just be blocked by something honestly bigger than it at that point, but interesting enough, I guess. A reverse thermogenic beam. Moving along though, got the first row done. 5 mana, 1/5 Noxus with Overwhelm. Nexus Strike. Deal damage to the enemy Nexus equal to half its health, rounded up. Yo, we've got fucking Ledros Could be fun with, oh, could be fun with Heimer since it's a mech. Ooh, it does count as a mech. That's true. That's a good point. Because then it will count for all the power. Oh, it could actually level Heimerdinger in not one go, probably, because then by that point you're too much mana for what you want to do with Heimerdinger. But could certainly help level it a lot, right? Because then you get the power of that plus the spell that the Heimer would get if he's on the board, which actually kind of would be a one spell level up for the Heimerdinger, provided that you can get both things out, which you should be able to for sure, almost like pretty much guaranteed actually, assuming Heimerdinger lives. That's a cool point. But also, wait, I'm sorry, Ledros on a stick? Deal damage equal to the Nexus half its health rounded up. Yeah, that's the exact, that's just Ledros. For 5 mana as a 1/5, and it already you don't even have to grant it Overwhelm, it just has Overwhelm natively? Captain Carex is fucking ripped, and also is incredibly strong, it seems like. Card terrifies you? Yeah, like, okay, aggro decks go pretty fast, but they do that to you when you're at 10 HP or 8 HP, again, turn 5 or so, let's say. They can then just, I mean, Decimate's already a thing that they use as a finisher, but then they can way more easily go for that Noxian Fervor or go for that ping that only does 1 or 2 damage and kill you, depending on how low you are. That seems pretty strong. That card is why you hide in Path of Champions. Yeah, to be fair, his right abdominal muscle looks like it could strangle me whenever it wanted to. Not the whole man, just that one muscle in his side looks like it could fucking snap my neck. So, probably not an unfair fear. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I mean, it's just, it seems so viable. When I look at that card and I think to myself, Noxus, burn, damage, P and Z, whatever, I immediately think, oh yeah, no, that seems pretty solid. There are some cards where I'm like, is this gonna be actually playable? Like the Sump Monument. Not Carex so much. Not Carex. Anyway, other than that, oh wait, I just thought of something though. If, say you have a unit that's facing Overwhelm, right? And you're trying to block the Carex. Does Curse of the Tomb basically one-shot you? Because it will double the damage that the Carex is doing, not do the Carex effects twice, if that makes sense? Because if it's the Carex effects twice, it's going to do half, and then it's going to take half of the remaining half. So 20 would go to 10, and 10 would go to 5. But if Curse of the Tomb just straight up doubles in front of a blocker, or if you cast Curse of the Tomb on the thing that's blocking your Carex, is that not just lethal guaranteed? Because it would be double the initial Carex ping. So it would be 20 total. If you were at 20 and he was just trying to hit you. I feel like it feels like that's true. In which case, Curse of the Tomb and Carex are affordable at 5 if you have banked your spell mana. Wait, what? What the fuck? Okay, that's actually hilarious. I mean, I don't want to face it, but it also is just kind of funny that they'd even do that. Okay, alright, I see you, Runeterra. Okay, you're coming for my nuts. Stop coming for my nuts. Okay, moving on. Ravenborn Tomb, 2 mana, +1/+0 equipment. When my bearer plays a skill, copy it. When my bearer plays a skill, copy it. Oh, that sounds like good shenanigans. That sounds like right proper shenanigans. And not, yeah, because, Mimius options first. Ravenborn Vladimir. That's the derpiest option possible. That's good for Gwen. Yeah, oh god, that's a much better example. I hate it. I don't want Gwen to drain more damage. That's another way to just fucking OTK. Why are they introducing OTKs? I mean, okay, I guess that makes... okay, so that just makes Sump Monument even better if they're introducing OTKs, because then they literally can't OTK you. Okay, anyway, also, yeah, also OTK with Gwen and also Karix. Jesus. Bonehide Tritail, 4 mana 3/3 with Overwhelm. When I'm summoned, grant me +1/+1 for each different subtype other allies have. So it's a reverse Warden of the Tribes, where instead of it granting the +1/+1 or the buff to your allies, it buffs it to itself. At 4 mana, feels pretty feasible, I think, to have at least a couple, let's say 2. So then it becomes a 5/4 for 4, which is pretty good. And having that innate overwhelm keyword just seems kind of nice. We've got now to one of the honestly most exciting cards of the expansion that was leaked. And I'm going to hold Flufferton for this one because he deserves to see his brethren rise. The Poro King, 5 mana 4/4, and has the origin the Poro King's Decree. Each round, the first time you summon another Poro, create a Poro Snacks in hand with level up condition of you've summoned 6+ other Poros. The Poro King's Decree itself is you may put any non-champion cards with the word Poro on them into your deck during deck building. Poro deck time! Oh my god. I'm so sad now that we did a Poro Cup condition for our first Poro Cup Series tournament, and that Poro King wasn't announced at that point. So you know what that means? We're gonna do it again. We have to do it again. We have to make Poro King decks a requirement of the next tournament, or one of the future tournaments anyway. Though, I've got fucking Flufferton's hair in my mouth. Though, I gotta say, it would actually be, Poro King would be allowed in the 5+ mana cost deck building rules. None of the other Poros would be though, so we're gonna have to knock that out, I think. Or knock him out of that condition in particular. So the level up version, which is down here on the right, I'm going to skip the middling bits for a minute. 5 mana 5/5. Each round, the first time you summon another Poro, create a random special snacks in hand. So let's go through the, let's try to find that. I don't think it's here. It looks like it's a little bit mixed up. So if you see the special snacks later, just keep that in mind. That's what the king makes every time that you cast, or every time that you summon. Not cast, summon another Poro. So there's a bunch of new snacks here too. Espresso snacks give Poro allies everywhere +1/+1 and give 2 Poro allies challenger this round. Pepper snacks grant Poro allies everywhere +1/+1 and give Poro allies impact for the round. Colorful snacks is grant Poro allies everywhere +1/+1. Grant allied champions everywhere +1/+1 and a random keyword. Allied champions everywhere? I'm sorry, allied champions everywhere +1/+1 and a random keyword. That's so entertaining. That's actually so entertaining. Oh, these are the special snacks? Why doesn't it say that? I'm just like reading them like, yeah, sure, where are the snacks? Why doesn't it say that anywhere? I guess it's supposed to be in the... maybe it's supposed to be... I don't know if it's supposed to be somewhere. I feel like it should be somewhere, because I was like, these are way stronger than the regular Poro snacks, so it would be weird if they suddenly had a 2 mana burst speed spell that you could just cast. But yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I'm surprised that they didn't have a little like description on the bottom or something. No, it would be helpful for my derpy brain. Colorful snacks are the random keyword thing. Oh yes, the random keyword thing. I immediately want to do that with like fucking Desert Light, Priestess of the Desert Light, or like Secret Keeper, or Aram, or something that's gonna make me random stuff, because that would be funny. Imagine a Trinity with Elusive. It wouldn't really do very much because he already is overwhelmed and he already revives himself, but that would be terrifying for my opponent, and I would have a good giggle. Frost this next looks like to be the last one here. All of these are 2 mana. Frostbite an enemy with 3 or less health. That honestly kind of low-key seems like one of the lamer options of these snacks, but a Frostbite is still a Frostbite, so like, I mean, can you really complain about a F-free 2 mana Frostbite? Probably not too much. Okay, that's the Poro King. We're gonna move on now to Nico, and she is a Terra champion. None of that region bullshit for Nico, it seems. Origin, many-shaped jungle friends, which is... You may put bird, cat, dog, elnuk, fae, reptile, and spider followers into your deck during deck building. Oh, okay. So they're actually really playing with the archetypes or the subtypes, which is actually pretty cool, I think. I'm glad that they didn't just make like... I'm glad they didn't just make birds and then, like, not do anything with the birds. That's pretty good. Level up condition, you've attacked with allies that have 6+ different subtypes. The leveled version has elusive, attack, grant allies that have a subtype everywhere, +1/+1. That's actually a pretty intense buff. It's a pretty intense buff. You know what would be fun? Nico Bard. Nico Bard would be funny. Because he would immediately just see so much buffing happening, right? Hypothetically. If she got to attack, of course. And there's still that subtype condition on her. But Nico Bard would be entertaining for sure. Moving on to the champion spell, though. Create an exact ephemeral copy of an ally and then swap them. Create a Nico in your deck. Oh, so we've got a... Shadows, not Shadows of the Past. The kind of like go get it, Shadow of the Past, Shadow Shift kind of thing, mixed with Syncopation. Mixed with Syncopation. That's fun, actually. It's also real bullshit if you try to get rid of a unit and then suddenly they is handing you a shitty version of that unit. But that's interesting. It feels like an Ionia card. It feels a lot like an Ionia card. But for a Runeterra champion effect, I'm not mad at it. I'm a little not happy about it, but that's also because I don't like the card Syncopation, personally speaking. Council Call. Oh, this is another Poro card. 3 mana, draw 2 different Poro followers and grant them +1/+1. That's also adorable. He has a little horn. Amazing. 5 mana, Ionia Burst Speed. Heal your Nexus 3 and draw 2 spells. Heal 3 and draw 2, I feel like it's just a good card, generally speaking. It is obviously more expensive than something like Guiding Touch, and the doubling cost of Guiding Touch would be, what, 4 healing for 4 mana, draw 2 cards. So it's a little bit less than that, but it's also Ionia, which has so many more tools anyway, so that I feel like that's pretty decent, especially if you trigger something that is going to discount the cost of your cards. Suddenly that does become more akin to just basically getting a double cast Guiding Touch or Fat or something else like that. Karma card, basically. I mean, yeah, one of my first thoughts was also Karma, which we're not going to address that. We're not going to address that. We've seen enough Karma. I've played against enough Karma. Karma is enough. All-Seeing Oracle. I mean, also just to go back to for a sec, I mean, any burst speed draw, it's probably going to be pretty good. Again, we already mentioned the Portapalooza and the Ivan Gaboros got nerfed from burst to focus. This is just a flat burst speed spell. There are no worries. Just burst, go to town. All-Seeing Oracle is a 4 mana 4/3 on play. Pick one of 3 fast or slow spells in the enemy's hand or deck and create a Carvings of Divination for it. And a Carving of Divination is a custom counter spell for 1 mana? Wait, you get 5 mana for a 4. You get 5 mana. You pay 5 mana total for a unit and a counterspell. They gave us more than just the Avenging Vastaya. I hate that it's an Ionia. It does make sense that it's an Ionia. Well, I guess the other one is in Shurima, right? And Shurima is the only region with fucking Rite of Negation. Yeah, so that's fair. So it gave them equivalents for Ionia and also Shurima. Because of Rite of Negation and Vastaya and Deny and All-Seeing Oracle. Holy shit, that's strong, though. That's so strong, though. You see that card and they immediately pick your win con. That's actually insane. That's so insane. That's just so... I feel like it just feels like such targeted... It almost feels like targeted BM, you know? I'm going to pick this one thing that I know that you really, really, really want, and I'm going to take it from you. Frilled Mystic vibes? Frilled Mystic vibes, yeah. Yeah. They're doing some spicy stuff in this expansion. Expansion. That's pretty cool, actually. I'm gonna skip through these guys. You already saw all the Nidalee stuff. Just checking to make sure that I haven't seen anything. Oh, enough, though, is confirmed a skill, however, off of the Avenging Vastaya. And you can counter skills, so it's not just an instant burst speed effect. Fantastic. Or, I mean, just kind of an interesting thing. And as is Secure the Goods. That answers my question from before. Good shit. This is all the transform that we saw before. This is some new stuff here. So after the Bristle Hog, we see the Tycoon, and then here's some more new things. So starting with the Swindler's Den here, 6 mana Bilgewater Landmark. Your cards in hand have fleeting. When you play a card, draw 1. For 6 mana, that's kind of expensive for a landmark. And I honestly don't know if you want to spend 6 mana for something that you can do just kind of by casting draw spells that are honestly relatively affordable for Bilgewater and P&Z if you're splashing it. However, if you... I don't know if there are any extra coin cards in this expansion. It doesn't look like there are off the bat, but I could be wrong. I guess if you have, let's say, the current coin package, right? You could get more mana so that you don't have to worry about the fleeting effects of your cards. Or if you do something memey like Cast Great Mirai Great Mother, then maybe you have something along the lines of an option for Swindler's Den to really pop off. I don't know. I'm skeptical of that one. I think I'm just base skeptical of the Swindler's Den, because drawing is obviously super powerful. However, does the fleeting and the amount of stuff that you can afford kind of temper that advantage that you're getting? I mean, draw is draw. Draw is draw. It's probably that in itself would discount the cost just because of the value of what you're getting out of it. I'd still be worried about the Swindler's Den, though, if I had to cast that. Because the thing is that it does work nicely with things that discount your cards. So for instance, Smooth Soloist is a pretty interesting card. You could definitely get value out of casting Swindler's Den and Smooth Soloist, but Smooth Soloist is never played because it's really expensive and hard to do. I feel like Swindler's Den is for a version of Bilgewater that we either don't really have yet, or that we have fragmented pieces of that aren't quite strong enough to really support something like Swindler's Den. But maybe it's closer than I think it is. Maybe there's some combo in here that I'm missing with Bilgewater. But Bilgewater, I don't know if they're really equipped to handle a 6 cost. Also, I don't know if any region is really equipped to handle a 6 cost that does that. But I could be very wrong. There are just so few things that really work with fleeting, other than just presuming you have value because the fleeting is the cost that you're paying to get that card early. But it's interesting. I'm gonna move on though. 2 mana 1/3 Deck Hunter. Manifest a follower that has a different subtype than allies in play. Oh, so that just synergizes a lot with Nico and stuff. Of just you want something that has a new subtype, here you go. So it's kind of like a mini, it's a subtype bandletree in that case. I think you are correct. They gave Bilgewater some interesting things, but they never really work out. They're always cool. Soloist is cool, but I'm never gonna fucking use it. Even if I discount cards in Bilgewater, what am I doing with them? Unless it's loaded dice or something where I get a card from somebody else's deck, and drawing is a way of the draw that counts from me taking somebody else's cards, unless that helps me level a TF or something. I just don't really care too much about draw in and of itself in Bilgewater, because the value that I'm getting out of it is just not as high as other regions. It's not gonna be a bomb like a leveled Karma that's just drawing spells all the time and casting whatever she wants. You can't do that in Bilgewater. You could cast maybe a Knuckle if you had coins, but that's also not going to necessarily win you games the way other regions can. But again, maybe they're introducing more in the future. Maybe I'm wrong about this. It's an interesting one. Moving on though, Dragon Prince Grinzo with a tune. Each round, the first time you summon a 1-cost ally. Okay. Refill 1 spell mana. Spell mana. Oh, for 2 mana as a 2/2. That doesn't seem too bad. Wait, I can't read the subtype on that. Oh, it's a dragon. Oh, duh, it's a dragon. I was like, Dragon Prince Grinzo. Is that a dragon? It doesn't look too much like a dragon. It looks like a goblin with like extra horns. Yeah, that's interesting. There's more 1-cost ally synergy in here, which is very interesting. I don't know what that means necessarily, but it's kind of interesting. Moving along though, 1-cost allies. I don't think there's any Aurelia bullshit that could happen with that. At least not a lot, because there's not really many 1-drops. There's just the blades that summon. The fact is the dragon is so random. A dragon in Bilgewater. And yeah, a dragon in Bilgewater feels unusual. Feels unusual. It's not bad. It's just incredibly like, wait, what? I guess it would kind of make sense for a dragon prince to be in Bilgewater, because dragons do like money and hoarding stuff. And Bilgewater does have a lot of fucking gold. 4 mana, Bilgewater, slow speed. Summon a random husk and grant 1-cost allies everywhere +1/+1. Ooh, +1/+1 is kind of nice. Kind of nice, actually. You'd be able to cast that on 3. That doesn't seem too bad, actually. Especially with something like that, oh, not Ripper's Bay, the other one, Reaver's Row, right? Because Reaver's Row is also, a guaranteed, plus a buff. Yeah, plus grant 1-cost allies +2/+1 and fearsome. So you could run Reaver's Row, albeit kind of expensive, with Siren Song, which is also 4, but the landmark mana is honestly way more awkward than the spell mana for something like this. So that would be, what, +3/+2 to your 1-drops? Ideally, with all of your buffs casting. It would also be funny if you did that with, like, Poros or something. Like, maybe the 1-costs are meant to be buffs for the Poro King somehow? Because that would be funny. So all of this is just in the support of the Poro King. Moving along though, 2 mana, Temple to True Ice, landmark. When you summon an ally, grow its health equal to its power, and it's only 3 mana. Ooh, you know what that's gonna make viable? You know what that's gonna make viable? What's it called? Can I look up Challengers as a thingy? Sort of. Wrathful Rider is the card I was thinking of. That's gonna make Wrathful Rider valuable and valid and usable. It will also make things like Trifarian Glory Seeker a fucking nightmare. 5 mana, 5/5, not 5 mana, 5/5 with Challenger for 2 mana? That would be actually pretty crazy. But also Wrathful Rider would become an 8/8 with Challenger for 5 mana. Wow, the value! Oh my god, she's not as pathetic anymore. Ugh. Incredible. Wait, Path of Champions landmark? No, these are still all regular leaks. So I was like, wait, what? No, this is definitely coming. It's definitely happening. You can't take the Wrathful Rider away from me now. I've already gotten excited about it. Is it already in Path of Champions or something like that? Wouldn't be surprised, honestly. 7 mana, 7/7 with Overwhelm, Snowy Razor Claw. This is a bird. There's no doubt here. This has a subtype and everything. Plunder effect. Grow an ally's stats to mine. So it's a little bit of a Harazi. It's a little bit of a Harazi effect, only it's not a support, it's a plunder. The effect was in the Path of Champions as a Nexus buff. Oh, okay, so a version of it showed up in Path of Champions. Gotcha. So I still have my Wrathful Rider. No, that's cool, actually. I'm glad that they are bringing something from Path of Champions to competitive. Not that they need to bring everything over, and they're still very different formats, but that's kind of cool, actually. Okay, so There are 3 in Ingvars here. They're all 2 mana Freljord 2/1s. It looks like there are 3 options. If I'm missing some description of where they're coming from, I don't think I am. So one effect is pick an ally, grant it and all others that share a subtype with it +1/+1. Oh, it's just the splitting this. Okay, so here's 2 effects. Either grant an ally and all other allies that share a subtype with it +1/+1, or manifest a follower that shares a subtype with an ally. Oh, interesting. Okay, so you're picking for a subtype to just have synergies with that subtype. That makes sense, because the pools of cards that you're pulling from for subtypes are different sizes, right? They're not all uniform. So you might have a better shot at pulling the unit that you want if you go for the smaller pool. So that's going to be an interesting game of what's your probability for that. Little Ingvar, imagine you're pulling Darkens. Ooh, Darkens. God, Ingvar. It's just like this small child is just like pulling fucking Aatrox out of a box. Like, oh yes, this is my friend. Yeah, Ingvar's gonna be interesting because it's also only 2 mana. It's pretty affordable. Zalani is a Darkin. Oh yeah, Zalani is a Darkin. Just talking about Zalani in the context of Snowy Razorclaw, but that's an interesting point. Yeah. So Ingvar is gonna be a what can you yank out of the pool game, which is a lot of things. There's a lot of good things that you can yank out of the pool. 5 mana, 5/5. It's a reptile. Also, Master, hello. Hey, how's it going? Froop is your favorite card so far? Froop was Anura, and Froop. Yeah, the discounting seems wild. The discounting seemed wild. Also, the name Froop is amazing. Glacial Saurian. Glacial Saurian. When I'm summoned, grant the top 3 units in your deck +1/+1. If an ally has a different subtype than me, draw one of those units. That seems very good. I mean, it's a 5 mana 5/5. There's a bunch of other things that will do something similar, like Avaros and Hearthguard will buff. Honestly, more things. Revenant will buff more things. But it seems like a fun card to play at 5. You see, you're very hyped for Nidalee. I saw that you're very hyped for Nidalee. Honestly, I'm also kind of hyped for Nidalee. Nidalee Shark Chariot? Nidalee Shark Chariot. Wait, why the Shark Chariot? Summons on Ephemeral, right? Are there major ephemeral targets that we're looking for? Wait, yeah, why the Shark Chariot? I'm missing something here. The main thing that I've pulled away from this looking at the leaks though is the whatchamacallit, mostly just the fact that the Noxus man with Overwhelm seems like you could punch through a Nexus in 1 hit if you run Curse of the Tomb. Necrotic Arachnoid is going to replace Ada. Also, Nidalee levels off the summons as well. Nidalee summon or transform for other allies. Oh, I see what you're saying. Because it's summon or transform. For some reason I was reading that as transform, but summoning 4 units is fucking dirt easy. Oh shit, yeah. Shark Chariot would totally work for that. Or you just cast one of the other many Shadow Isles cards that summon ephemeral things out of fucking nowhere. And I was just like, well, there's the level. Interesting. Also, back to the Necrotic Arachnoid. When I'm summoned, summon 2 Necrotic Nestlings. When another ally dies, drain 1 from the enemy Nexus. Ooh, 8 mana 5/8. That's a fucking healthy HP there. Sand Soldier's Blades and Zeds. Oh yeah, true. Which means that bird card that we were discussing earlier, the acid trip one that I was talking about, that actually makes that summon's effect a little bit less worse. The Halanatus. That makes the Halanatus summon a little bit less worse. Mists, for sure. Elise Spiders, honestly. Do you play Zed with Nidalee though? Probably. I mean, Zed is not the ideal pick, But of things that summon a companion unit when they do something, Zed is not bad at all. Gonna be Shadow Isles or Evelyn. Shadow Isles. I mean, Shadow Isles makes a ton of sense because we're already talking about killing and summoning a bunch of things, and Shadow Isles does that pretty well. I mean, and also Shadow Isles Shurima is a pretty solid region pairing in general. And Evelyn is just Evelyn. Evelyn is just useful. Plus, if you're running ambush with Evelyn, I mean, that just seems helpful. Husks are always somewhat of a boost. I love the Necrotic Arachnoids effect, by the way, because I now can have both a Neverglade Collector and a Necrotic Arachnoid on the field at the same time. Is that overkill? Absolutely. Am I going to try to do that in a real constructed ranked scenario? Probably not. But also I could drain my Nexus, my opponent's Nexus, for a lot of HP, and they can't stop me unless they have Sub Monument, hopefully, if that card is used. That one makes me excited. I don't like spiders, but I do like its effect. Moving on to a Necrotic Nestling with Fearsome. That's just the thing that it summons. Great, cool, great, cool. You can run Mobilize to make it cheaper or ramp it up. Oh yeah, so you could get it out way earlier than 8. Than round 8, I suppose. You can run that with Lysandra. Oh, you can, because it counts as an 8 cost. Woo! Yeah, you can. Tufted Web Spinner. 2 mana, 3/1 with Fearsome. If an ally has a different subtype than me, give an enemy -2/-0. That face is disturbing. -2/-0. And it's not a spider. I mean, sure, it's a little bit more damage. Probably not a terrible thing to swap out for an occasional Elise card. Or the thing that's usually, or the cards that are usually in Elise aggro. These look like some fancy stuff. 1 mana, Shadow Isles, 0/0. When another ally gains power from Hallowed, so does my bear. Ooh, so you could have like 3 Hallowed units attacking at the same time. Oh, Jesus. If you have a Gwen on board anyway, right? That's annoying. That's annoying. Age of Dragons is a 12 mana slow speed spell from Targon. Draw the top 9 cards in your deck, draw each dragon, and reduce their cost to 0 this round, then shuffle the rest into your deck. Do you know what that makes me think about? Protective Broodfather! Because if that's the only thing in the deck, then I can just do that forever, and then I can attack, and then I'll get more of them with the stupid fucking Broodfather stuff. But also Eclipse Dragon is probably more practical in terms of value. It is great though. That's fun. It is 12, but it's fun. It's fun for everybody. Yeah, unfortunately you can't duplicate Broodfather because then you won't have the Demacia P and Z, and it's just not anywhere near those regions. But that's okay. I'll get over it. 3 mana, Targon, Star-Crossed Lovers. Play effect, recall an ally and grant it my stats. So if you're hitting Fated a bunch, which that should also trigger Fated, on a White Flame or on a, probably more like a Saga Seeker, right? That's a pretty decent stat boost. It's at least a 3 mana, let's say 4/4, maybe a 5/5 or so. That's pretty decent, because then you can also play effects on it. 2 mana Bandle 0/0 equipment. With impact, when I'm discarded, equip me to a random unequipped ally. That's actually super fucking fun for any discard deck, I feel like. Because if you only have 1 or 2 units on your field already, Rumble is not really having a renaissance. Rumble is just kind of, occasionally I see him for some reason. On a Rumble deck, where Rumble's your main source of damage already, and you just put more damage on him, or you put more damage on a Mechiortal or something, that seems pretty fun. 4 mana Portal Scholar with 3 as a 3/4 Bandle. When I'm summoned, plant a mysterious portal in the top 4 cards of your deck. We got some boon synergies, I like it. When you summon a created ally, granted impact. Okay. Summon a created ally. There are a lot of created allies that you can summon, honestly. That's the second time, in addition to the portal card, And I guess the Return of Wrench now that we've seen some impact boosts. I like it. I think that's pretty decent. But that is a lot of direct nexus pings that they're introducing. There's a card here that I've been side-eyeing because it's fucking adorable. Ferocious Fluffs, a bird, a 7-mana Bandle 6/6 card. Impact. When I'm summoned, grant other allies that have subtypes +1/+1 and impact. I lied, there's another impact card as well. That's incredible. I'm not talking about the effect, I'm just talking about the art. That is incredible art, because that's how I wish to feel inside every day. I am a mighty, terrifying bird, and now I can also, I'm just round and having a good time. That's how I aspire to be as a person. Nico Bird Deck. Nico Bird Deck time! Impact is kind of spicy. It took Riot long enough. Impact is pretty spicy. Sometimes when I'm going up against a deck that has impact, like, it takes my brain a moment to catch up and realize that I do have to factor in impact damage just because it's not as common. Like, I feel like we're all somewhat familiar with it just because of Tristana and Bandle in general, but having it more uniformly sprinkled throughout the game is kind of cool. At least it's interesting. 5-mana, 3/3, Scrutinizing Sergeant. Play effect. Pick a unit from the top 5 cards of your deck that costs 3 or less. Summon it and place the rest in your deck. They gave Demacia a Station Archivist for units, but it also summons the damn thing. Yeah, that seems good. Because obviously Demacia needed more... more unit summoning. 5-mana, 3/3. I mean, it's not in and of itself the best stat line, but it has a pretty useful. It's a pretty fucking useful effect. It is 5 mana though. I'm hesitant. I'm wondering in which case Demacia wants to cast Scrutinizing Sergeant over like a Garen or something. But it's there, sure. In MTG, it's on a $200 card. Wait, what MTG? It's a Timelines buff? Oh, right, because then you can transform that into something else that does much more than that. Oh, gotcha. Right, this is the second time I've had to remember Timelines is really a thing here. 6-mana bird, tough, crested lion hawk. Play effect. If an ally has a different subtype than me, manifest a Demacian spell. Wait, you found a chicken wing restaurant? Don't trust it. You cannot order wings from, only fries and a soda, and that's it? What a place for wings! Speaking of wings, this lion hawk, I mean, there are a lot of good Demacian spells. Imagine getting a fucking champion strength out of when your opponent like least expects it. Not that they wouldn't necessarily expect it. You are running Demacia. But there's some good stuff that you could potentially find, like just getting a single combat or a concerted strike, and a bonus one seems pretty helpful. Or even a detain or vanguard or something like that. Last one that we're gonna get to in this, though, is finally the Trinisphere. 3-mana, 3/3, Mage Seeker Jr. Spells that cost less than 3 cost 3 instead. We've got Stony Suppressor, we've got Petricite Pillar, we've got Mage Seeker Jr., we've got Jural. We have so many things that are actually increasing mana costs for your opponent. Pranks also, but they're not really Demacia, so I was somewhat leaving them out of that list. That's really fun. That's fun. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm glad that they're doing that. Yeah, I have no other comments other than that's neat. That's neat. Silas teaser card. Oh, because of the Mage Seeker stuff. Yeah. Ooh, I wonder... Okay, so Silas has to steal stuff, but it'd be fun if he would also basically just taxed your opponent, kind of like not out of the game, but like just made their spells or their units somehow really hard to cast, or just more difficult to cast in general. That would probably polarize the player base a hot bit, but also that I think would be neat. He should baseline just take things though, either from the stack or somebody's origin or something like that. Someone is gonna make a tri-beam deck. Somebody is going to make a tri-beam deck. That's an excellent point. Somebody at some point is going to be like, well, if they're going to make me everything cost 3, then how about you just buff the thing that can high roll the fuck out of you. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, I like Mage Seeker Jr. In general, I'm actually pretty excited about this expansion. I almost said patch, and I was like, this is definitely more than a patch. Italy looks interesting. Ambush looks very entertaining. Avenging Vestaya and the other counterspell card look annoying, but honestly, at this point, potentially just also fine for the balance of the game. Sump Monument is still my favorite card from this expansion. Poro King looks entertaining. Kalrix looks absolutely terrifying with Curse of the Tomb. Nika with the subtypes looks like it will hopefully be fun and powerful. I need to wrap my head around the subtype thing, I think, honestly. And figure out, like, okay, here are the pools, how strong are they actually? Seraphine Poro King looks scary. Oh, because they are 2, so you can double cast all of those burst speed spells. Ooh, I didn't think of that at all. The special snacks, yeah, could get out of hand a little bit. The pooper and the trocher, the trooper and the poacher, look like they also have some interesting effects for sure. Towering Pyrophant and the Tycoon in the trailer. Don't know how often that's gonna fucking happen, but also doubling seems generally kind of useful. It is, however, 7 mana. Do you want to be that? Do you want to be spending 7 mana on round 7 to cast that? I'm not fully convinced, but maybe it's more useful. I think I'm just wary of the really expensive cards in general. Ingvar looks like it could be fucking annoying and very strong. Necrotic Arachnoid's a fantastic drain. It's drain. I love it. Age of Dragons look impractical as fuck, but also amazing. And Ferocious Fluffs wins for the art. Wins for the art, 1000%. But yeah, those are the new cards that we will be getting in exactly a week now, on the 28th. On a Wednesday. You bet I'll be fucking streaming it. Because I want to make all the things and try them out. And also see how bad Sump Monument is. So that's cool. So we watched the Nidalee reveal. We have also watched the visualizer. Someone recommended that I look at the Nefiri cinematic for League of Legends, not Runeterra. So before I head out for the evening, I am gonna go look at that, because it seems interesting. And also the animations are always gorgeous, so here we go! More YouTube time! Photosensitivity and epilepsy warning. Just in case. Just in case. Nefiri gameplay, that's out too. Ooh, okay. Ooh, the weapon has an eyeball. Trippy as fuck. Alright, alright. The art style is so unique, honestly. Forgive me for adjusting the volume so much.
Not even pray and make a choice. Either give up or give chase.
Ooh. Ooh.
Alone I start.
Alone I starved. Yo, that's such a cool aesthetic.
But together, we feast.
Is... Okay, now I actually have to look at the gameplay real quick, because I was not expecting the next champion to be a dog. I was not expecting that. You need to serenade me to sleep or madness, whichever comes first. Fucking agreed. Okay, I mean, it's at least a little dog-like. It's at least a little dog. That is so cool! I'm so sorry. You get to play a pack of wolves. A pack of doggos. I don't even want to think about the technical requirements for positioning the pack of doggos, but that's dope. What is that mobility also? That's so cool. Oh, the pack gets bigger. Ooh. Blade Wolf. Blade Wolf forever.
Let the world hear our howls and know that death awaits.
That's so cool. The giant pack is her ult. That makes sense. I kind of figured that that was it. Mid lane assassin is going to be so interesting to see in League. I really want to see a pro player pick up Neferi and do some wild shit. I need to see somebody do that. Okay? All right. Next Worlds, I better see fucking Neferi, because I'm excited for that one. Her skins are gonna be wild, and also probably beautiful. If they ever come out with a skin that's like each individual doggo gets a different color and design, I'm spending money even if I don't play her. Faker ready to step on kids? What a way to put it, but yes. I need to see an adult man step on some children real quick. There's a famous LCK player that's ridiculous on Zed. Yup, it's Faker. Alright, and a Fury Faker then. I can be more specific if I need to be. Okay, but yeah, that looks honestly super fucking cool. And I don't play League. I tried playing League for a little bit, and then I haven't for months, and it's honestly been good for my mental health. I don't play League, but I will snoop on anyone who's in a game with a Fury at this point now. Good shit. Alright. I think I'm actually going to leave the stream there, since we got in, honestly, a lot of discussion and me talking with the chat about the new cards. You haven't played League this entire year and you feel the same. We can both improve our mental health by not playing League. Everyone can improve their mental health by not playing League. Unless they genuinely love the game and don't feel any hatred for it, in which case you are a beautiful person and please never change. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave it there. I will be back tomorrow for more of the Mage Seeker. We just got rejected by Lux, and we're going to go do some more anti-mage seeking activities. And then Friday and Saturday I will be off. Sunday, however, will be the community celebration event / 2-year streamiversary event. Horror game stream, viewer games, AMA, giveaways, hopefully some fun stuff. Probably hang around for about like half a day or so. And then on Monday we've got more Runeterra. On Wednesday we'll have Runeterra for the expansion. The Thursday after next we'll have Mage Seeker, and then Sunday we'll be kicking off the big Porolander 100 card singleton event. Don't forget to sign up and register if you're interested. If you want to just go in with a pile, Please come in with a pile. I'm gonna just be over here having a good time, waiting along with the players that I'm watching, going, what the fuck am I gonna draw next? That's the joys of Singleton. But anyway, thank you all for joining the stream this evening. I'm gonna go find somebody else to raid out to in the category, and I wish you all an excellent rest of your time zone wherever you are. All right. Twitch. How's Legends of Runeterra today? Here we go.
More like Walmart grappler.
Oh,
I don't click grappler either.
I forgot that it keeps
attack with this.
doing the thing where it just puts somebody in the
now
thing.
that we know he has the unspeakable word, we'll block like this.
Ooh, Rec Rising is doing Slot Machine again. We haven't, I think, rated them in a hot minute. So let's go check that out. Yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by. I think not, unless you guys want to raid into Turtle Duck. I'm totally fine doing that. I was gonna raid into Rec Rising because I usually try to find somebody who has fewer viewers than I do in the category. Though I think actually you might be about the same at this point. Rec Rising is fine. All right. Here we go. All right. Yeah, sending you all over now. Thank you all for joining the stream this evening. We'll be back tomorrow. Community event on Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Forgot to mention that. And then tournament on July 2nd at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Don't forget to check out all of those things. They're all in the Discord. They're all on the schedule. And yeah, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Bye, Internet.